Good morning, everyone. It's Victoria Ratton here, the founder of Oprah, and welcome to our second or day two of our Virtual Executive Assistant Conference. I know some of you have been on several sessions, so you know that I've got to do a little bit of housekeeping now just to explain how it's going to work. For the next hour. You will be muted during this webinar. There will be a Q&A with Holly, which I'll facilitate and via the Q&A function, so you can pop your questions in there and I'll make sure they're raised with, we'll get through as many as possible with Holly. If you're an Oprah member, you earn 2 CPD credits for your attendance on this webinar. Everyone that has attended the live version will receive a PDF certificate of attendance. Of that, there'll be an automated email that comes out from us via GoTo tomorrow with an attached PDF. If you end up watching the recording and need a certificate of attendance for your CPD or any type of programs that are similar around the world, please contact admin support epravirtual@epra.org.uk. Now, you shouldn't need a headset to listen to this, although you're welcome to use them if that's easier. And if you do develop some sound issues during this webinar, and not everybody, if I'm not getting a sense that it's a wider problem, it's going to be a local audio setting on your computer and laptop, so worth checking that. And also the old tried and tested method of log off and log back in. We're really lucky to have Holly Moore with us, the founder of Make Events. I absolutely adore this woman. She's been hugely inspirational to me since I went on this journey of setting up a business and leaving my EA career. And I know some of Holly's contacts are on this webinar, and I know it's been a real tough time for the events industry recently, but I'm really confident, you know, you're going to get through this. So that was just a message from me, but I feel really lucky given the extraordinary circumstances we find ourselves in, that we've got Holly with us today. So if you can just bear with me for a couple of seconds, I'm just going to pass over presenting duties to Holly. Holly, just to confirm, we can see your slides.
Okay, can you see me?
I've just sent you the webcam request, so hopefully we can see your lovely face in a mere moment.
I don't know. Okay, morning everyone. Yeah.
Holly, just to confirm, we can see your lovely face and we can see your slides.
Right, okay, morning everybody, virtually. This is really a little bit weird for me because I'm very much a face-to-face person. So bear with me. Also not that technical. I think I've been a bit of a problem panelist for Vic to deal with. So before we begin, I just want to say virtually a huge round of applause to Victoria for organising this in such a short space of time. I've not been privileged enough to watch all the speakers, but I know that the content, from what I've heard, has been amazing. And for those of you that don't know, Vic is also a key worker for COVID-19. So she's been working all through the night as well as putting this conference together. And I'm sure when we all clapped at 8 o'clock last night, we were all thinking of all the key workers involved in this. So very apt today as well that Oprah has announced that she's donating 10 million to the coronavirus efforts. So it's a great privilege that I can talk today about my experience. Before we begin, bit of shameless plugging. Here's all our social media channels. If you want to take a quick screen grab of those, it would be amazing for you to comment and tweet the way through and follow our channels. Obviously, we need all the help we can get at the moment in these challenging times. And we've done the hashtag Oprah 2020 for you to follow. So just a little bit of housekeeping myself before I begin. I'm going to be reading off notes, which are here at the side, because I have only had 24 hours to put this together and I didn't want to forget anything. So forgive me if I don't have the most amazing screen eye contact. When I originally went to Oprah and decided I was going to write content about what I discovered out there, obviously COVID-19 is now very much part of that story. I do use a little bit of humour. I know everybody's quite sensitive, myself included at the moment. So everything that I say isn't meant to offend in any way. I'm hoping to be positive throughout, but I know that we're in very sensitive times and situations at the moment. I'm sure the last 2 days has been quite emotional for many of the speakers. You'll see through the presentation that my passion is live events. Not only do I love designing and producing them, I attend them, I speak at them, and normally I would be delivering this message on a stage. But sadly, that won't be for a little while. So the reason I chose this topic to speak about, 5 weeks ago, I was living my best life in LA, going to see Oprah Winfrey live at an event. I always say to my friends that things can change in a minute. We worry about something one day that in a few weeks seems insignificant. So although my talk today is about Oprah, it's also about how what we're all going through at the moment is already changing our lives. If any of us come out the same person out of this time we've been gifted, then it will have been wasted. Don't get me wrong, I am finding this super tough. I've got businesses in one of the most challenged industries. I'm also self-isolating on my own. But I hope that by sharing my story today, I can offer you all a little bit of time to reflect and a little bit of inspiration during this really difficult time. So I'll begin. I'm just going to have a sip of water. So my name is Holly Moore. I'm 43 and I've built 5 businesses from scratch since 2012. I've spent a lot of time on personal development, understanding emotions and how to deal with them. And this is because at one time I was living my worst life. I was in the throes of severe OCD and there didn't actually seem to be a solution. But I came through it with CBT, exposure therapy and group therapy and mindfulness, where I learned it was entirely possible to rewire my brain. When I got well, I was ill for 5 years. It was like the blinkers had come off and I truly began to live what I would call my best life. And because I had, I think, essentially rewired my brain through therapy from an illness that I was told wasn't recoverable from, I started to believe that anything was possible. If I could get rid of an invisible illness, what else would I be able to do? So since then, at the age of 35, this is 8 years ago, I've built companies from scratch. So far, fingers crossed, with no debt, no overdrafts, no credit cards. The business was started with probably that, traditional story of like £50 in the bank. So I'll probably help you to see a little bit of my timeline up to 8 years ago. So was never, didn't really enjoy school, really don't enjoy learning in the traditional sense. And then, so I kind of remember Oprah Winfrey as when I used to come home from school and watch it with my mum, who's watching. That's probably what's making me nervous. And I used to watch Oprah Winfrey and I thought she was amazing. And then as time went on, my mum took me to like a goal setting event at the local library and I absolutely loved it. And I thought, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. Like they get you to imagine your best life and like what could be more exciting than imagining and writing down about that. And I just absolutely loved it. So I've always been a grafter and had my first little business when I was 11. So really probably quite goal orientated and quite a positive person. So as I started to listen to Oprah, she talks a lot about feeling your own truth and taking time to listen to the truth of your life speaking to you. And I think at the moment when we've got time and maybe a bit of time to reflect, this is really quite an interesting topic. So as I go through the presentations, I've got a little bit of video. I'm hoping Vic will let me know if there's any problems with sound, but I'll just go on to the first one. So one of Oprah's sayings is, whenever your GPS is out of kilter, trouble awaits you and your instincts are usually a compass. I don't know about anybody else, but it's certainly taken me to get a bit older to realise this and to really take a minute to listen to what my mind is really telling me, rather than getting, I guess, like sidetracked by other people's views. So when I started listening to Oprah a lot was about 2 years ago, and I couldn't shake the feeling that in my personal life something wasn't right and that I wasn't on the right path. Oprah spoke so much about being authentic and living into your true self, that I realised that my personal life was not aligned with my professional life, and I made a decision, or we made a decision to leave our marriage. So I'm always really proud of that, because my marriage ended just not because there was something better out there, but genuinely we both felt like it wasn't the right path for us. And I had this amazing professional life that I was so authentic in, and then wasn't in my personal life, and I felt like I needed to bring the two together. And as soon as that really difficult decision was made, my personal life started to align to my professional life. And even when you look at the trajectory of Make Events, you can see that, about 2 years ago, we really did start to take off. And I guess what I'm saying to you is, for both things to work, you can't be true to yourself in your personal, but not in your aspirations, or the other way around. So as soon as my personal life and my professional life became aligned, my path started to become much clearer. And at that point, I'd never journaled. And I think the reason that I hadn't journaled was because if you're not living in your own truth, you can't really write down your feelings. So I'd listened to Oprah say that she found journaling really therapeutic, and she journaled since she was 15. And so I looked up on Amazon. These are available from Amazon. All my team have got these. And you can buy a blank diary. These are Oprah's diaries. I'm a bit of a stationery fanatic, so the paper is absolutely gorgeous to try it on. And that is my actual pile of diaries from the last years. Yeah, so I started journaling, and what I found amazing about it, if you don't do it, and now would actually be a perfect time for you all to start, is how I said before, like things can change in a minute. I would find, obviously, coming out of divorce, and mine was an easy divorce, like in the sense of like no children, no affairs, but it's still massively traumatic because you're completely changing your life. So you go through all these different emotions you potentially not experienced before. If you document them, then when the next challenge comes ahead, you can read on the challenge that, I would be dealing with something 6 weeks ago, which seemed like the worst thing in the world. And then, something else would come up, and I'd look back and think, oh my gosh, I got through that so quickly, I can definitely get through this. So I think by diarying and documenting your challenges, it makes you more and more resilient. So I'm on my own, starting again, journaling away, and I decided that what I would do to help my recovery is spend a lot of time on my own. So all my friends were like, oh my God, Holly, you shouldn't be on your own at this time. And I was like, I can't expect all of a sudden need to be on my own to click my fingers and my friends can be out all the time because they've got families. So I need to be on my own. So I did things like go to Tony Robbins, go to loads of events, just spend loads of time on my own. And I actually didn't even drink for 5 months. But it's really weird now, looking back when I was writing this, doing that and spending all this time on my own actually has meant that self-isolation on my own doesn't seem that scary. I mean, I'm not saying it's the best, but I know I can definitely deal with it. So pre-35, I think I'd very much lived in my comfort zone. It's really weird. I don't know. There will be people listening that suffer from mental health, but I struggled ever being away from home, as in I was very confident on the outside, but things like travel and things like that made me feel a bit odd, and I couldn't even pinpoint why. But then when I look back, I had a strain of OCD all through my life. I just need to be very clear. My OCD has nothing to do with cleaning or hygiene, and I massively feel for anybody that's got that type of OCD at the moment. It would be horrendous. OCD is one of the most misrepresented mental health issues, and all I can tell you is it was dark, it was terrifying, it was alienating, and basically pretty horrendous for 5 years. But it transformed me. as much as it was one of those most painful experiences to go through, I genuinely don't think I would be as determined and positive as I am now. So at 35, I set up Make Events. And Make Events is an events experience agency. We deliver events for corporate companies, big brands that you would know of, to deliver a message to their employees and to their customers. Then we have Make Events Venue Finding, and I'm sure many of the PAs and EAs out there will have experienced a venue finding agency before. So when we're working normally, we're sourcing this meeting space across the globe for our clients. We have Make Events Design Studio, so we offer an in-house graphic design business, which is doing well at the moment, despite the events industry not doing well. And I have to give a little plug to the team who pulled this presentation together for me in a matter of 24 hours. We've got HM Events. So HM Events is our luxury events and party planning company, and we do events for people that have a good budget for weddings, parties and events. And then another brand that we're developing at the moment is Anything is Possible, and that's about inspiring content digitally and through live events. So we have all these 5 businesses, and then you'll see at the top the House of Make, and these are our offices in Wilmslow and Cheshire. And our offices are truly a story of our brand. And when the world is back to normal, all of you are more than welcome to come to Starbucks for a coffee, a Prosecco, or a Jaeger bomb, whatever you fancy. So I mentioned I've always been into goal setting ever since my mum took me to the library. And I honestly believe, for me personally, I don't know if any of you write goals. If I write down a goal, it is literally like I've tattooed it on my brain, and it's like I can't let myself go, and I will definitely do it. But one thing to say is I've had people say to me before, oh, what's the point in writing goals? Because what if you don't achieve them? And I'm like, well, does that really matter? Because I have such a good time imagining that I'm going to meet Oprah or whatever. Even if I don't achieve it, I've had such fun thinking about it and planning it, which I'll come to at the end. I think that's why it shows that I've got like so much belief that things can happen. So yeah, things like I wrote down when I was younger that I was going to meet Kylie Minogue. I was an absolute mad Kylie fan. No idea how that was going to happen because I worked on reception. And then years later, I ended up organising a private party for someone. Kylie Minogue was the act. She signed all the scrapbooks that I'd so lovingly put together when I was 11 years old. So one of my other goals I wrote down was I would meet Oprah. Don't know how this was going to happen. Oprah doesn't really ever come to the UK. She's not the sort of that kind of accessible person. But then she announced her Oprah 2020 vision tour that was taking place in America at the start of this year. So it's really weird because I mentioned like I love traveling on my own, and it's normally the kind of thing that I would go to on my own, but I reached out to 2 friends. Well, I didn't even know them that well actually. So you'll all know Lily Shippen, who you can see in the middle of this slide with the dark hair, who owns Lily Shippen Recruitment, and she spoke yesterday for PAs. And then our friend Lisa Morton and her daughter, and Lisa owns Roland Dransfield PR Company. And something inside me made me reach out to them and see if they would come. And they both said yes. And it just seems something really amazing about 4 women across 5 generations travelling together. So talk about goal setting. Now this comes to real extravagance, and these are the kind of things I'm not comfortable talking about. But as you can see, the girls I went on holiday with are quite tall, and I'm not. Little thing. Yeah, I was quite small compared to them. So they said to me, Holly, would you think about travelling business class? Because it is a long flight. And it felt a bit uncomfortable to me because I felt, oh, it's extravagant. Oh, what shall I do? But I had written it down as a goal many years ago. So I think because I'd written it as a goal and it was tattooed on my brain, I thought, you know what, it gives me the opportunity to tick it off. So off we went, business class to LA, and as you can see, these pictures are of the roller coaster at Santa Monica Beach. And the irony is, I remember the girl saying to me, come on, Hall, let's go on the roller coaster. And I was like, oh, I'm not going on roller coasters. I hate roller coasters. Little did I know that some 3 weeks later, I'd be riding one of the biggest roller coasters of my life. I thought that my learnings from this trip would be from Oprah. But in fact, the learnings have come in so many different ways that I will come to talk to you about. I think this trip was meant to happen for me so that I had Lily and Lisa as a big support network to me through this time. And it was meant to make me realise my purpose in a lot more ways than I could imagine. So I filled in my diary on the 24th of February and I wrote, oh my God, I'm on business class sipping pink champagne in my Alexander McQueen's. Fast forward to the entry on the 18th of March 2020. The world is a different place to the last time I wrote, and this week will go down in history as COVID-19 sweeps the world. So now what you're looking forward to hearing is about what I actually learned from Oprah. So Oprah believes the reason that she is here is as a teacher, and she believes that that's what her shows were for. She believes that she's meant to make people realise their purpose on earth and their consciousness.
Holly, we can't hear the sound on that.
Okay.
If you've got, let's just turn the volume up, I think, please.
Where am I turning? Sorry, guys. Where am I turning it up there?
Don't worry. It'll be on your laptop or desktop. There'll be a button there.
Oh, that is up. That's up to 100.
Oh, okay. That's your speaker.
Did you hear the first video?
No, we didn't.
Okay, I can skip through the videos if you want, if that makes it easier. I've got enough words to get us through, I think. Okay,
That's what I love about you.
Okay. Okay, so we got to Oprah, to the show, and it was the most incredible feeling. We were on the 5th row, and to actually see somebody that you've like was your hero for so many years to come on the stage was really quite magical. So we were given these like goal books, vision goal books to work through, and we had to score ourselves. So you had to score yourself across like loads of different areas, as you can see here. And these were my scores at the time, and I redid them the other day, and they've actually gone up, which is weird considering the time we're in, but I'll come to that. One thing that did make me laugh was this was one of the questions to do with your emotions. I avoid isolating myself, which I did at the time, but now I'm sat on my own in the house in week 2. But anyway, so there's another thing that we do at Make Events as well, and we're going to make these all downloadable for you. You might have done the Wheel of Life before, but as I mentioned, I set goals, but the best place to start is to start with all the different areas of your life and score them, which was essentially what Oprah did. And it's weird actually, these downloads that we're going to send you the link to, one of the quotes on the bottom is, in 3 months time you will thank yourself. Now we all know at what kind of time at the moment we're probably looking at lockdown, so this might be a really perfect time for you all to start this. I do have a bit more time than usual, so it would be great to get people doing this while they're off work. So yeah, Wheel of Life, so you score the different areas of your life, and then you work up your goals from that. Now, I thought what would be really good to share with you is the key points of a whole day seminar that I brought out, and hopefully you can have these slides and see what you take from this. So Oprah talks about doing what you want to do. And again, this is quite ironic. She talks about JOMO, the joy of missing out, which obviously everyone's familiar with FOMO, but this is about being actually fine with everybody going out on Saturday and you not being there and doing what you want to do. She loves being at home reading. She loves the quiet and a really nice sort of look at rest. You deserve rest and you should see rest as a source of power. And I just thought that this slide is probably quite apt for now, and it's quite a nice one probably to just print and put up and just remind ourselves of the positives in this experience. She also talked, which was ironic, about having it all but not at the same time. And this is actually a subject that I talk about. There's a panel that I put together on this subject. And she talked about age. Now, you know, we know that there is a generation at the moment that want everything straight away, the promotions, the pay rise, move through everything really, really fast paced. And somebody said to me once, what they've always liked about my story is I didn't actually really start to kick in until I was 35, whereas a lot of people just want everything now. So she kind of said about the 20s isn't necessarily about finding your passion, but it's like learning your craft, and that's what I've always believed. Like I feel I work really, really hard from the age of like 18 to 35 until I had my own business. The 30s, you do start to settle and connect, and I think that's what happened to me. The 40s, you start to set boundaries, and it all starts to get a lot better, and I would definitely agree with that. And then the 50s, you start to do what you're meant to do. And it was just a really nice spin to put on a very kind of like age negative society. And then she interviewed JLo, who looked insane, and she didn't even look done. She looked really natural, and she was a really nice person. And for those of you that know JLo, like, it's almost like she's having a renaissance. She's just been 50, so some of the stuff she said was amazing. She said she wants to change what people view as 50. She decided at 50 she wasn't going to hold back. She was going to do better and work harder. She said age meant nothing to her, and that she's still growing. It's not over. What's the rush? And it was just, she was so inspirational. You can find her interview on YouTube. If you search Oprah Winfrey 2020 Vision JLo, it's definitely worth a watch. And then this goes back to the goal setting. Oprah talks about dreaming, planting the seed of a dream, dream the dream. And if you really don't believe you get it, you won't. You have to believe that you will. And she believed that God had a bigger dream for her. So we finished the conference and you had to make a contract to yourself. So I did this and I was inspired. I did feel like I needed to find my purpose, but something just wasn't clicking, and I didn't know what it was. I was probably a little bit disappointed because I thought I'd finished the conference, like, right, now I know what I need to do, and I didn't. But what LA did for me and the girls, more than anything else, we thought it would just be about Oprah, and actually it was much more about like finding a friendship and a support group, which has obviously been amazing during this time. So I got back, still felt unfulfilled. I've been going through a really hard time at work, and some of my team are watching today, and I'm sure they won't mind me saying, but I think I've realised more than ever now that I love to lead, but I am not the best people manager, and you have to know your strengths. And before I went to LA, and certainly for a few months before then, I was trying to people manage, I was trying to lead. We didn't quite have the management team right, and it was just a really difficult time. And I was like working, thinking, wow, what am I doing this for? Like, I know I love my company, I know I love my team, but I'm not fulfilled, I'm not happy day to day. So what am I doing this for? Am I doing it all so I can fly business class to LA and have nice trainers? Because like, surely that's not enough, because you've got to be happy day to day. And just something was not clicking, and I just didn't know what it was. And I just felt like my head was like spaghetti. I put on Instagram, literally this was how my head was feeling, was totally overwhelmed, didn't know where to turn, didn't know what to do, just in a reel. And I guess I expected to get back from LA and just click my fingers and everything be fine, and it just wasn't. So you're not going to hear these videos, are you? But I'll try and tell you. So basically, Oprah says about she got an overwhelming feeling when something's not right. She gets an overwhelming feeling that something isn't right and there's something more. Sorry, just go back. And I guess I've alluded to that already. That's how I felt before I came out of my marriage, and I was just starting to get this unsettled feeling that there was more for me, but I didn't know what it was. And then all of a sudden, COVID-19 kicks in that we all underestimated. We were at the airport in LA looking at people in masks going, God, is it that big a deal? Like, and then all of a sudden got back and it all started to click in. And I just think I'll share my my diary, like some of the stuff that so I got back from LA totally confused, and then all of a sudden I had to wake up. So I wrote, the world's a different place again. Last week was one of the most enriching weeks of my life. I felt hugely positive and optimistic, frightened, worried, scared, pessimistic, joyful, happy, loved, very loved indeed. With the news of lockdown and self-isolation pending, each day was D-Day. We focused on one business function per day, and at first the thought of getting rid of people was scary, but not as time goes on, we all understand the necessity. I think in 2 days we will self-isolate, and when we return, the world will be a different place. On so many levels, I have never felt so purposeful. If I shut out the noise of what's going on around me, I feel so vital that I'm leading. This is what I was born to do. I'm meant to teach people about life, about resilience and how it should be done. And I'll lead, make and HM events through this, and I'll earn the respect. I can't read the next slide because it'll make me cry, so I'll let you read it. So basically, isolation takes away your impatience because you can't see anyone and you have to live with what is, which is what we're all doing at the moment. Can't read that bit about mum, dad. So yeah, so basically we got back to work and it was literally day by day. And, you know, we saw a lot of various industries, various companies knee-jerking into the announcements. And I just said to the team, bear with me, I don't want to make any moves that I don't feel are right and that I don't feel are right from my heart. And we took everything day by day and really slowly, and they were all amazing and very patient. So we moved into lockdown week, and when I mentioned humour before, the only way that make events get through things is through humour. So just to show you a few pictures here, in the corner you've got me and Alex, who's my commercial director, observing social distance. We'd watch Boris at 5 o'clock every day and have popcorn. We had a virtual cocktail party on Instagram. One of the team's dogs came in, and we took that. So the week that I was talking about was probably Monday to Friday, and then me and Alex did an address to the team. And even though we were delivering what was quite a terrifying message that, you know, we want make events to be there at the end of it, but I can't guarantee what's going to happen to all the people that I've worked with, you know, during that time. It was horrible. You know, we had to deliver that message, but we still did it with a bit of humour. So we had Boris's Union Jack flag on display. But I had to convince my team and make them believe that anything is possible and that we will get through this. And through all of this, I had the fantastic support of Lily and Lisa, who I'd been to LA with. And I'm going to show you a slide that I'm probably going to regret, and Lily is going to kill me. I have got her permission. But the weekend then that we went into lockdown, and then that's how I had to start making decisions about furlough and salary reductions. And I was breaking my heart. And I messaged Lily and I said, oh my God, this is so tough. I said, I've literally just taken a selfie of myself crying, just to remind myself how tough this is. And she said, oh my God, I've just done the same. So we sent each other our selfies. And then she sent me a picture and she went, this was us 5 weeks ago, living our best life. What the hell has happened? And we sent this picture, and I don't know why, but we seemed to have the same dressing gown on, even though we were in totally different houses. And we were just like, God, we were sat in like Beverly Hills toweling dressing gowns a few weeks ago, and now look what this has happened. But the reason that I'm showing you this picture is to show what as business owners we go through. I feel like I need to just flip back. I can't have you looking at that the whole time. You know, as business leaders, we have to be strong. We have to make tough decisions. But, you know, I certainly do. Like, I genuinely feel it. But that week, I just felt like I was in my lane and I was suddenly doing what I needed to do. I wasn't sat there, you know, going through budget sheets and event plans and all the minute detail, because that is not what I'm good at. And what has happened, going to see Oprah and then going and all this happening in the world has suddenly, for me, clicked in my purpose. Quickly. So your life is always speaking to you, and the question is, will you listen? And that again goes back to 2 years ago when I decided to change my personal life. And Vic, can you tell me if you can't hear this one?
No, we can't hear this one either.
Okay, so basically Oprah talked about something at the tour, and that was an actual picture of the tour, about what we're actually afraid of is how good we could be. And I did not get that. How can you be afraid of how good you could be? It just didn't make sense to me. And then it did. And over the last 2 weeks, it did, because I truly believe that I've been in a horrible situation, and it's horrible what's going on. But from a selfish, personal point of view, and again, this isn't meant to offend anyone at all, what's happened has suddenly made me realise what I need to be alive and what I want. And so what I'm going to say now is, what I really want from my life. And I felt guilty about saying this because I've got an events company. We produce the most amazing events for the most fantastic clients. And I've got an amazing team that can do that now. And I don't need to be as involved in the detail. And I love seeing them grow and being able to do that. But I almost feel guilty for saying, do you know what? I've produced some of the most fantastic events, but now I'm ready for the next stage in my career. And I feel guilty about that. And then I feel stupid for saying what I really want, because I'm afraid that people like you would think, who does she think she is? You know, she's too big for her boots. What does she think? But in order for this presentation to mean anything to you and for hopefully it to resonate with you, I feel like I've got to tell you what I have discovered is my purpose. So I want to build brands. I love building brands, and that's why I haven't just ended up with one events company. But I want to empower people to run them. And I finally feel that I can admit that I want the team to be able to run Make events and build HM events and the other businesses. And that's not because I don't care or because I don't want to be involved in everything anymore. But I want that chain, like we're talking about pay it forward a lot at the moment. I want that chain to develop so that all those people have those opportunities. I do want people to know that there is freedom from mental health. When I suffered with OCD and was on all the forums, I was told I would never get rid of that particular type of illness. And I faced so many challenges, and it's a time like now that would trigger it back. And every challenge I've gone through in the last 5 years, it's never come back. And I want to stand on a stage one day at my own conference. And I would love it to be called the Anything is Possible conference. And I would love for one person one day to say, because of you, I believed everything is possible. But for now, I've got a bit of a job to do, because I need to make sure that these businesses and all my team get to the end of what we're going through at the moment. You have to believe. If you're going to set goals, you've got to believe in it yourself. And I do believe I will get us through this. And I've just got a little slide. So when I closed the office nearly 2 weeks ago, we've got like the fake Starbucks, and we've got all these letters that we put up that we like write messages on each day. And the team haven't seen this. I'm trying not to get emotional. So I do believe we'll be back there. Anyway, this really is to say to you, you've got time. Like Make events are, our whole thing has always been like, we never have time. And, you know, I might be completely stupid. I might be doing totally the wrong thing. But I believe that now myself and my team have got the gift of time, and that we can do everything possible that we always wanted to do to set Make events up and the other businesses, so that when we go home, when we go back to House of Make, it's ready for us and we're ready to take on the world again. And I don't know when that will be. I also want people to, in this time, like listen to your truth. What are the things you've been ignoring? What are the things you want to do but you don't think you can do them? Because you can, and you've got the time to do it now. So I'm saying to you, this is a massive thing for me to have told you what my personal goals are, because I was worried about people saying, who does she think she is? But I'm having the courage to say today that this is who I am. So I hope that you've enjoyed this. I hope it's given you an insight into our businesses, and I hope if it's given a couple of you some inspirations to take what is a really challenging time in our lives and a moment in history to make the best for yourself, your families. I would be delighted if it made a difference to a couple of people. So thank you very much.
Fantastic, Holly. What an inspirational woman you are. You truly, truly are. And I've got some questions for you on the panel. So a really important one that's come up actually, which I know that I asked you about because you kind of ended up mentoring me in a way, I guess. But how did you deal with financial issues when you were creating your first company?
Oh, well, I mean, not compared to what we're going to go through. So what actually happened is when I set up Make events, I had in my head it would cost £5,000 to set up, because I thought I need a website and branding, etc. But what was amazing is that I got my first client pretty much straight away. So the way that events work, we've always been really good with cash flow. So I invoiced my first deposit, and it was to Late Rooms. And many of you will know Mel Sheehy, who with the Manchester PA network with. That was her company, and we used, we got our first deposit, and so I never had to borrow any money to set up the business. We always ask for payment up front, and we still do now, because we have to pay suppliers in advance of the the event. And I'm really, really proud to say that everything that we've done through the profits in the business. So we've never had to borrow anything. So I've just reinvested and reinvested, and still managed to buy nice trainers.
Holly, a pressing question here. Did you meet Oprah?
No, but let me tell you. So do you know that, like I said, it doesn't sometimes matter if you don't hit the actual goal. So my friend, well, Rosie, who is head of HM events, she said to me, we're a bit dramatic at Make Events, you can imagine. I've had a vision. Oprah's going to be wearing white. You're going to meet her. I was like, oh my God. So we were on row 5. We decided to get the most expensive ticket. So we were so close to Oprah. Anyway, she came on stage in white. So I was WhatsApping Rosie. She's in white. She's in white. I'm going to meet her. I'm going to meet her. And she went through every single row but ours. And then, but I nearly came to it because if anyone loves Oprah, they'll know she's got a very best friend, Gayle King. And as we were walking out, I saw Gayle King, and normally I'm not that cheeky, and I'm, try and be coolish around celebs and whatever, but I wasn't cool at all. I pelleted it down the aisle and said to Gayle King, "Hi, we've come from the UK," and got my photo with her. So I felt like that was close enough to Oprah.
Brilliant. I saw that photo, loved it. And for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, go and check out Holly's social media. Holly, another message here: your aspirations are incredible, and congratulations on your businesses. This person's been following you closely on social media over the years. She wanted to ask, how and did you establish your business plan? Did you know you wanted 5 businesses, or did you start with one initially and then found you kind of had to split them out into different brands?
Yeah, that's exactly kind of what happened. So when I started off Make Events, I was doing corporate events and private events, like private parties. And as time went on, we were working with some really nice brands like Kellogg's. We did an event for them in Dubai, but our marketing was confusing. So the jobs through Kellogg's came through personal, business relationships. But if you were a cold client landing on our website, it was confusing because we had some weddings, and then we had a conference for Kellogg's in Dubai, and it was mixed messaging. And also the pricing is different for corporate events as it is to private events. So we did a rebrand, and we decided to split the 2 brands. And so Make Events operates very differently and separately from HM Events. The venue finding started off as quite reactive on the side to an event, and then people wanting us to book all their MICE business. So, their conference space, their accommodation, that didn't necessarily have event spend attached to it. And then the design studio came about because we started to, so literally this whole presentation has been done in-house, and a lot of, apart from the original Make Events logo, all the other logos that you see there have been done in-house. So we thought as well, especially during this particular period, if live events, we know that live events are off the radar for a bit. It's going to be virtual events like this, so content is even more important. So I hope you don't mind me doing a little plug for it, but if anybody does need support with their branding for their virtual events, or their slides or handouts or contacts, we can do all that in house, and I'd love to really keep that going while the live event space is challenged. And anything is possible is literally my passion project, and that's what I alluded to in my last slide. I really, really love this space. I love talking about learning and personal development, and I would absolutely love, I'm going to put it out there, to have our own conference, Anything is Possible conference, where I can deliver my message but bring in all the people, business leaders and people that I can interview, and hopefully create amazing live content. That is the goal. That's what I would love to do.
Brilliant. You mentioned, and I think a lot of us, men or women, have had this same statement in their head: who does she think she is? And that's resonated with a fair few people. And one person in particular said they've suffered for years from feeling like an imposter, and they've self-sabotaged their own career a number of times. And they've been really, really inspired by you today, and are starting again at 41. But imposter syndrome, it's a really, really difficult thing to get over, isn't it, in business, or whether you're an EA or PA. It's a massive thing in my profession. It's a massive thing to me as a business owner as well.
Yeah.
How do you kind of recognise it? And because it does it keep resurfacing? Now, I mean, the virus notwithstanding, but does it keep popping up? Do you block out competitors? Are they hot points?
Yes, I think it changes as you develop. So initially, it's ironic really, I was a proper in-betweener at school. So I was not cool, but I wasn't completely geeky. I was in the middle. So when I started in the event space, I felt a bit uncool. I mean, the team will probably say, yeah, that's definitely right. But yeah, and so I used to like look at a really classic example. I used to look at all the Coronation Street stars at that time and be like, oh, I would never be cool enough to do a party for them. And then for the last couple of years, we've done Emmerdale and Coronation Street summer party. And that's what I mean about not worrying about things. Because if you told me that straight at the beginning, but that's because I've built my confidence. I've always had a business coach. So he really coached me through that, feeling like an MD. And I think going back to that about who does she think she is now, I think it's different for me now. So just to put it into context, I absolutely know I could pull that anything is possible conference together. I know I could make it amazing. I know I could get good speakers. I know I could do really good content. The look and feel of it would be amazing because I've got such a fab team that would add to the creativity. I know I could do it, but what I'm scared of is telling someone that I want to do it and be, you know, because it is a little bit centre of attention. It is your ego. I'll be honest about that. So I guess I don't want people saying, oh, who does she think she is, like doing that? She must have, she must love herself, blah, blah, blah. Because it's not about that. It's just about what like sets me on fire, and doing that sets me on fire. So I think to myself, do I keep living a little bit not reaching my potential because I'm worried about people thinking I'm too big for my boots, or do I just fight through that and start to do what I really love, which allows all my team to do what they really love, because they want to climb up the chain as well. They want the opportunity to manage and lead within Make Events and the other companies. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. We've had another question on advice on how you prospect for corporate clients, because invariably things will get back to some sort of normality eventually and business will resume. It's a tough challenge.
I'm going to be really honest, because I think it is really important to know your own strengths. And I've just taken on a sales mentor. I haven't started with him yet, actually, with everything that's happened, because my natural disposition is not really massively proactive sales. I'm much more about like longer relationships or working with brands I love. So I'm probably guilty sometimes of like, oh, I really want to work with this brand, and not actually researching whether they've got budget spend or not. I just really want to work with them. Sometimes that's been amazing because I've ended up working with like Vimto, the Hut Group, My Protein, brands that I really love. But actually that's my area of development, if I'm honest, at the moment. I want to become much more strategic in my sales approach. And I don't know if I did mention it before, but for me to do a course or a degree wouldn't work. So I found somebody that is really great at proactive, maybe a little bit more aggressive sales. I don't need to go that far, but you need to find somebody that's like a lot better than you at what they do. And that's what I found. And he's going to start mentoring me once I've got through this initial period at the moment, but I'll take advantage of this quiet time to do that learning.
Yeah, a good time for that. And we've had a great question here. It's two questions in one actually. What was the hardest challenge you've overcome? And also, the same person has asked, what's been your favourite event to date? So that's
Would you say hardest challenge I've overcome in business, would you say, Vic?
Yeah, I think that's what they mean by that.
I think liking to be liked is my biggest problem. That is my biggest problem. Yeah, because I think what I'll do is because Make Events has sometimes been on a bit of a hamster wheel, like we've grown so quick. Sometimes when we've had like negative feedback off clients, I feel massively guilty about that, and because I feel like, oh, did I train the team on that? Did I tell them about that? Did I not? And then I find it uncomfortable to give feedback because actually I'm blaming myself for the fact that that's happened, and that can cause problems. So I think that stems from liking to be liked. And I think what's happened in the last few weeks, I had to make emotional decisions, not caring if it meant that somebody liked me or not, because what I'm actually doing is for the greater good of the business and the greater good of everybody's jobs. And actually, it's been a massive learning curve for me, because cutting out that emotion, making the decisions, I think I'm right in saying that the team massively respected me for that in the last few weeks. And then what's the second part of that question?
The second part was, what is your favourite event to date? I know that's going to be a tough one to answer.
I won't say Kylie, because that would be the obvious one, because I love her. I'm going to say it will change year to year, but we've just done a huge event for an anniversary. It's like, I can't remember now, well over 1,000 people. And we had Dermot O'Leary and we had Jamie Cullum. And that is an event that normally I would have run and not let anybody have a look in. And one of my team, Emily, ran that event with the support of her senior at that time. But essentially, she ran that event. And that feeling, I remember stood with her watching Jamie Cullum on stage and just been like, you've got to be so proud of yourself. Like, so that's what I mean. I think you grow and develop. And I think for me, it was seeing that there's somebody that's was brought into the business as a junior that ran one of our biggest events, and that was massively fulfilling.
Brilliant. What someone else has asked, what were you doing before events, and do you have any advice for anyone that wants to move into the event industry and become an event professional?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, as I mentioned, I've very much worked in my comfort zone. So I actually worked, I did retail management after school, but then I worked in a golf and leisure club and worked my way up, like was receptionist, duty manager, personnel, and then got into event manager that way. But very, very, a local venue, 200 people. But then, kind of, I'd say when my career kicked in, I went to AstraZeneca Pharmaceuticals and I headed up their employee engagement events. So that's why my massive passion is employee engagement events and, make events. We do our own conference, we do all our own internal events, because we believe if we're going to tell you, the customer, that you need live events to communicate a message, that we need to be doing that ourselves. So that's what I was doing before. Advice, getting into events. So it's going to be a tough arena to get into now, because unfortunately there will be businesses that don't survive. So there's going to be a massive pool of talent available, which there's going to be a lot of people wanting jobs. I know the freelancer market is massively suffering at the moment. But let's say that wasn't the situation and you're talking to me 8 weeks ago. It is a very, very attractive space to work in, because it looks fun, it looks glamorous, it looks exciting, and it is all of those things. But it's very, very hard work. I'm going to be honest, if I get a CV with event management on a degree, that's not what I look at. I either look for somebody that's worked within the event space and that has worked maybe in a place or for a brand or an agency that I'm excited by, so I feel that they can bring knowledge to the team. Or someone that comes to me and goes, can I do work experience with you? And we've had a girl, Courtney, is at the forefront of my mind at the moment, a girl called Courtney, who basically chased me down on Instagram, and we were really, really busy, and she mithered me, and I said, I'll have a coffee with you then at the weekend. So we went for coffee, and I gave her, I think she worked work experience for about 6 weeks, I can't remember, and we would have absolutely offered her a job, because she proved herself in those weeks, and she was absolutely brilliant, and we were in talks with her about a job, but obviously with what's happened we can't. So that's what I would say. If you're going to completely change your career, and you've got to be mindful, you would take a step back, because I would never put somebody in a senior role that hasn't had the experience. So financially, potentially, you've got to take a drop. And events agency work is so different than organising an event as a client. It is a completely different experience. Brilliant experience.
There's a question that's come from a PA now. She's been a PA for over 25 years. She's not loving it anymore, and she feels she has total spaghetti head. But she's not.
I'm so glad that made sense.
Yeah, but not sure what to do to clear it, and any tips. And I think obviously you've been through some tough times and redefined yourself and what you want out of professional life. So I think that's why that question's come in.
Yeah. Well, you've got time at the moment to reevaluate. Perfect time to reevaluate. I don't know who this person is, but I'd be happy to have like a half-hour Zoom or something with her to have a chat, because just sometimes you need someone to ask you the right questions to kind of get to the right answers. And I've got some books and things you can read. I don't know how old this person is, but it is never ever too late to change. Just look at J-Lo.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Fantastic. Was it Super Bowl as well? I saw her perform recently. Yeah, made me want to get down to the gym. Holly, we've had another message. Love your story and all the work you guys do at Make Events. This person works in marketing and events, and she's really ambitious, but sometimes struggles with confidence and decision making. Do you have any advice on overcoming this?
I do think having a coach really helps, and I always tell the story when I talk about the story of Make Events. When I went freelance for a year before I set up Make Events, and my annual salary at 35 that I was earning was £18,000. It's not that long ago, and I still invested in a business coach that was £80 an hour, and people are like, oh my God, what you spent your money on that? Yes, because I believe there are specialists. Like, if you want to organise an amazing event, I think you should use an events agency. I'm not necessarily saying us, but we are specialists in what we do. So if you want to build in confidence and in decision making, you need to find someone that specialises in that. And I think free mentors are great, and that people that say that they can help you, but at the same time, if you're not paying somebody, you can't really demand their full attention. And I think when you're paying somebody, you do have that full attention and somebody that can help you. So I would say investing in a coach or a mentor would be the best thing to get through that. Then they can get into your head a little bit more.
We've had a question, and actually you've just said about mentoring, but are you open to being a mentor to someone who finds you hugely inspirational?
Well, this is what I would absolutely love to do, because I love developing people. So I guess I didn't feel like I could say it before, because there is stuff that we need to change at Make Events. We need to kind of I really want to get like an online training platform at House of Make. I've got so many plans, and me and the team are cracking on with those now in this time. So I don't feel I can do mentoring until I get to the stage where my team are mentored enough to be able to run everything, because I would be unfair to them. I'm certainly available to have a coffee in the coming months, virtual coffee with this person. I'd love to chat to them. And I guess when I've got the businesses ready to go, when we enter the new world, then with this anything is possible brand, absolutely, that is something we'd absolutely love to do. I mean, I'm not qualified, I'm just qualified in life. But if they felt that I could help them, then yeah, I'd love to look at the option of doing that.
Brilliant. We've had another question. What books do you recommend?
Well, I've got about 10 at the side of my bed, and I keep opening them and then falling asleep at the moment. But so the first one that I read was, I guess, my first self-help book that I read that I loved was Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. It's an old one, but I love that. There is one by a woman called Rebecca Campbell. I think it's called Rise, Sister, Rise, which I felt really helpful through my divorce, if anybody's going through anything like that. Tony Robbins' Awaken the Giant Within is absolutely brilliant, and I read that at the start of the journey with Make Events. That's fantastic. Onward by Howard Schultz, which is the story of Starbucks, has hugely inspired the business as opposed to myself. Or the E-Myth, which is all about processes and systems. Sounds boring, but it's brilliant. And I mean, I've got a few. Do you know what we'll do is I'll put my reading list onto the Make Events website. We won't be able to get it up today, but we could get it up next week.
Brilliant. Yeah. Brilliant. And we're coming to the last question, but someone's put a comment saying, I've been a client of Holly's on a number of events. She's amazing, inspiring, and we can't wait to see her again soon.
Oh, who's that? Can I know or not? Is it anonymous?
It's not anonymous, but I'll message you afterwards.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, we've got two last questions. take it as a funny touch moment to share with us. Which flower will you see reflecting best your personality and why?
Well, it has to be a colour on brand, which you can see on this slide. I don't know, my favourite flower is a peony, and just because it's full and it smells lovely, and I think I've been thinking about that I don't pay enough attention sometimes to the little things that make you happy, and sometimes I think just like a bunch of your favourite flowers, I think we'll start to appreciate these smaller things now as time goes on.
Brilliant. Another comment that's come in, you mentioned surrounding yourself with positive people. Have you got any tips on how to get rid of toxic people from your life?
Do you know what? I feel bad about saying this, but I have actually, so I'm quite a loyal friend, I would say. I'm a really loyal friend. I don't really fall out with people, really. But I did let go of a really, really long friendship a couple of years ago, and it's not an easy thing to do, and you don't believe that you can do it sometimes. But I think just it's having the confidence. I think that comes back to confidence, confidence in yourself that you don't need that person, and confidence that moving away from the disease to please, and just knowing what makes you feel good. And I think I always say, if something starts to not make me feel good, that's how I would say, this is how I feel now. If a person starts to not make me feel good, that is a sign that they shouldn't be in my life. And I think you can just exit that quite easily.
Totally agree. Another question. Someone said they find they want to do too much at once. I know this is an issue in my profession, probably yours as well. How do you find where to start when you've got all this stuff going on in your head, and you've got to do this and this?
I mean, I just don't think I'm probably the most qualified person to answer this. But what I did do the other day, my sister told me to do, was she literally said, write everything down that's in your head. So it was like 7 pages. I'm not even joking, from like Weed the Garden, which I've not done for years, but I'm going to have to now. From Weed the Garden to develop a strategic plan for Make Events Friendly Finding. So I wrote it all down in no particular order, and then I got a spreadsheet and I did loads of tabs. So I put it into like personal, diary, sales and marketing, ops, HR, and just started to put it into some kind of order, because isn't it funny that we've got all this time now that we always want, but we actually don't know where to start. So, I mean, yeah, does that help?
Brilliant. Well, you wouldn't believe it, Holly, but we've actually come to the end of the hour now. You've answered so many questions. Thank you so much. I'm sure everybody agrees she's such an amazing inspiration, and everybody will be wishing the events industry and Make Events the very best of luck riding through this
Please do. If people can follow the business, I know it would be a huge boost to my team just to get a little bit of support on social at the moment. They've been amazing.
Yeah, they definitely have. They are an incredible team, having met most of them. But Holly, thank you so much for your time today and sharing with us so much, and been so inspirational. And I can't wait to see you in person again, and when we're allowed to lockdown. But I'm sure I can speak on behalf of Holly and I that we both wish you the very best of health for yourselves, your friends and families.
Yeah.
And take care, everybody, and have a great day in your houses or in the garden or whatever you're up to. And we'll see you on social media for the foreseeable future. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.